What up, what up, what up, what up, my beautiful, what's up, y'all? What's up, my beautiful, lovely baby loves? Hello, it's so nice to see you guys again. I'm back at the house, y'all. Back on the space station. My spaceship coupe whip, okay? You guys, if you're new to this channel, do not forget to hit the post notification bell. Well, first hit the subscribe button with the post notification bell so you don't miss when you get Cisco live. If you're not new, thank you for coming back. I appreciate all the love. I appreciate the likes, the shares, comments, and subscribes. Also, if you want to book a personal, check the description box below. It has my website, Kaylove1132.com, if you want to get in detail or anything like that. So you guys, we're going to start talking about what character are you choosing as the world changes? What's up, Aisha? Sending all good energy to you guys. I hope that everybody's doing good and grounding and stabilizing. So I have some messages for the transits that are happening. Well, pretty much that have already occurred, but I really want to get into the energy of picking that character in the story. What's up, Miss Shadiqua? Picking that character in your story. Like, what is your story? Where is your story leading you? What character are you deciding to play in this current moment? And what does that character lead you as well? And being able to understand yourself from what I would say the top down rather than the bottom up, right? So sometimes we see ourselves in a space where it's where we want to be. Okay, I want to be here. So I'm looking from the bottom down. If I'm saying that I want to be somewhere that is higher than where I am, I'm looking from the bottom up. And what that allows us to do in certain spaces is that allows us to see, okay, this is what I want in the current moment. This allows me to be grounded in the work that I need to do. But then when you start looking at yourself from the top down, that brings another aspect of seeing from different perspectives of who you are, right? So instead of saying, okay, I'm going to look at the perspective of me getting to a goal that I want to accomplish, and that kind of solidifying that I am who I said I wanted to be, rather than the goal that you wanted to accomplish being who you are, and that you looking from the bottom, the top down looks at the lowest level of who you were not, if that makes sense. So for a lot of us, like I said, we get to a space where we start saying, I want to be this, or I want to really push my energy into that. And thinking that you have to change yourself and manipulate yourself in order to get to that space, rather than knowing from the top down that you already are this, and that there are just layers of shedding and rejuvenating and reinstalling, reinventing that happen for you to be the most truest, authentic version of self. And that's important for us to know right now, because a lot of things are changing around us and outside of us. And if we get too caught up in those changes, in those shifts, this is what we start doing rather than being grounded in the change, right? So somebody who's grounded in the change is able to adapt. Okay, boom. What is required of me in this moment? What allows me to build more of who I am without really trying to build it, but understanding that I already am it, and I am building by unleashing, releasing, shedding things that don't serve me and that are not true to me. Because once I can do that, I can really fully step into that of which I already exist as, right? A lot of the times, like I said, we start seeing ourselves from different perspectives, where it's just like, I already am that millionaire. I already am the first millionaire in my family. I already am the matriarch of my family. I already am doing what I need to do, right? How do I step into that I already am more than shedding what doesn't serve me, dusting the dust off your shoulder? All right, you get what I'm saying? All right, so then we're going to talk about some of the transits. I feel like it's a very intense energy, but as things change, you have to pick who you're going to be in the situation. And sometimes when we let the universe pick for us, boy, sometimes we have control over what we want in our lives. Well, really, pretty much we always have control over what we want in our lives, or at least we should. But sometimes we let the universe kind of freestyle it for us so we can get to a certain section of our journey where then we can start to create from what we desire within, right? Maybe we don't have the ability at that moment to create from what we desire within. So the universe says, well, let me create the best possible. Let me put you in the best possible position. But sometimes when we let the universe freestyle it on our behalf, it's going to bring up deeper reflections of us into the external world. What's up, Davita? So I really want to get into this energy of Mercury, Venus, and Mars plus Saturn in Aquarius because, baby, they are in Aquariana. And we're going to look into that a little bit more. I'm just sipping my tea, y'all. Just sipping my tea. Y'all should drink tea. Tea be bombing motherfucker. But so yeah. So we're going to be looking at the structure and order in regards to our cosmic contracts. And that's why I'm saying, who are you? Because whatever you are resonating with and feeling, whether that is somebody that you want to be 7 years down the line, 10 years down the line, that is who you innately already are. And so when we look at these cosmic contracts, we look at contracts that are void, agreements that we had with ourselves, right? Because everybody is pretty much a reflection. Everybody has their individual life. And when we interact with each other, it is a reflection of what's happening inside. So those can become contracts, but it starts with the contract of self. So I feel as though collective, you're going within and you're looking at like where you've agreed to certain things that you are going to have to shed in order to truly step into who you are. You cannot carry these contracts with yourself that you've had and be who you say that you want to be, which you don't have to want to be anything. You just have to be. And being is releasing, allowing, flowing, path of least resistance type energy. So where have you made contracts within yourself, within your relationships, within how you think about your money, how you think about love, how you think about the different ways that you receive energy and the different ways that you give energy, right? There's a big emphasis on giving and receiving. So what contracts have you held within yourself where the giving and receiving was not unbalanced? Because the whole world works through giving and receiving. So if you're not giving properly or receiving properly, you're going to be off balance, right? And so these planets, Mercury, Venus, and Mars, and Saturn are in Aquarius. So this actually brings a lot, these bring up like karmic contracts that we've had with ourselves. Aisha says, I'm always drinking tea. Yes. These bring up like karmic contracts that we've had with ourselves. So contracts and things that we've agreed to out of routine, out of like upbringing, out of fear, out of lack mentality. We've created these contracts with ourselves to survive and to get into a mode of, okay, when I'm not in surviving mode, I can change it up, I can switch it up. But because so we've given ourselves excuses for why we've agreed to certain things and why we've made certain contracts with ourselves. We've made excuses for why we've allowed lower energies and lower vibrations to have a certain reign in our lives without like properly assessing what it is that the lower energy was bringing to our attention. Because I think for a lot of us, we were in an energy of like, well, I'm just going to do this because this gets the job done right now, rather than saying, why do I have to do this to get the job done? What job is being done? So there's a deeper level of analysis within self, the agreements that you made, the promises. For example, some of you guys have made promises. I will never let someone manipulate me. I will never let somebody hurt me again. And so you're looking at that as, okay, I'm never going to let somebody hurt me again. I'm never going to let somebody manipulate me again. But then it comes off as a commitment to yourself. If you're not analyzing where this came from, why this is here, and what the purpose is serving, you become closed off to even allowing others. So let's say, for example, your fear is of not being able to trust yourself. That's innately what's happening within you. But you're making a contract with yourself that says, I'm not going to let anybody manipulate me or hurt me. So the initial trauma is that the initial fear or what is happening is that you're afraid to trust yourself or you're not trusting yourself. And then you make these commitments with yourself. I'm not going to let anybody hurt me. I'm not going to let anybody manipulate me. And there's nothing wrong with saying that for yourself. But when you understand that the reason why you're saying is because innately you don't trust yourself, then you attract more of the root cause rather than the commitments that you made to yourself. You attract more of, okay, now I'm attracting more of the reason why I need to look at why I don't trust myself. Right? So we're clearing out these old contracts because with the Aquarius energy, the things that we used to do, the things that we've done for generations and generations and eons and all that shit, is coming to a point where now it's not healthy for you to do that. Now you don't have to survive in this space anymore. You can thrive and you can live. You don't have to think about how you're going to protect yourself from the outside world. You just have to protect yourself from yourself at this point, because the outside world, again, is a product of what's happening within. When you learn to detach from a person, a place, a scenario, a situation being a certain vibration, and you're able to understand that that person, place, situation, or scenario was bringing you more clarity about your inner vibrations, then you're able to move a lot more seamlessly through your life. You're able to walk through the path of least resistance. All right. So the contracts with the universe are being organized to us in a more advanced translation, meaning now we can kind of see agreements that we've made with ourselves, thought patterns, beliefs, emotional standpoints, what have you. Now we can kind of see like, okay, I'm able to change and transform my reality. I can be in a specific place in my life, but because I have an alchemical atmosphere around me that I'm creating with my mindset, it can feel like one thing, but be a whole different other thing. I can create the environment that I want using the tangible reality that I have, using the mindset that I've occurred, using experiences in the way that uplift me and don't keep me stuck in past storylines. Okay. That's kind of what I'm feeling for us that we're collectively doing together. We are also, I'm seeing with these transitions that we're going to be challenged to use our altruism and our eccentric nature. Okay, so what does that mean? Altruism, eccentric nature. What is it that makes you feel like you? What is it that you can determine within yourself separates you from others? What is it in a positive way that you're separated from others, but you're also allowing yourself to build upon the collective with your individual specific talents, gifts, and abilities? What are they? What is it that you possess within you that creates the spark of divinity around everything that you manifest, everything that you touch, right? Because collective, who I'm talking to right now, what you touch turns into gold, baby. What you touch turns into gold. For some of you guys, what you're touching turns into diamonds is what I heard. Platinum diamonds. Okay. So you're a part of the new earth. You're a part of one of the platinum diamonds frequencies, holders of the light, right? That is here to ground all this light energy. And how do you ground the light? You inevitably have to be surrounded by either more light, right? To ground it into your reality, or you have to be a pillar of light in the midst of darkness. So you are a way shower. You are someone who I'm talking to. You're someone that shows the way. You lead the way. You show the way. You give off a very bright radiation. Some of you guys I'm hearing are like platinum diamonds. But when we look at how diamonds are made inevitably by applying pressure. And it's not that they don't crack under pressure. The cracks that they have under pressure is what makes them unique, because I think a lot of people are coming to recognize that being strong and strength is not in your ability to keep doing these tedious resistant activities. It is building up more resistance within your life is what you're doing. Your strength is being able to say, I see the resistance happening in my life and I'm going to flow through that. That's real strength. I'm going to flow through these areas of my life that are bringing tension. I'm going to bring peace to these areas of my life. I'm going to bring serenity and harmony to these areas of my life where I usually see tension, right? I think a lot of people mistaken strength for being what you can do, like what your best quality is, building up your best quality. All right, so let's say your best quality is communication. And so people think that your strength is communicating, right? But that's just building up one aspect of yourself. True strength is knowing that you're as good as your weakest link. So the weakest part of you, and this isn't no like weak is bad, but the more vulnerable part of you, the one that you're strengthening up and allowing to flourish, that is going to be where your strength ultimately lies. You're only as strong as the parts of you that you have not gained clarity and groundedness in. Okay. And those are the parts that we can work on our strengths all day, and that's beautiful. But we're always going to have to return to working back on the things that make us vulnerable, the things that, like exposing ourselves in a sense to the healing. Those are always going to be the things that make us stronger. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what I'm seeing. I'm also getting here too. You guys could be experiencing like past life memories. Damn, as soon as I said that, the train came. I don't know if y'all heard it. That's why I was looking like it rang again. All right, y'all. So yeah, past life memories, past life lessons are coming up as well. So things that we didn't quite get to master in last lifetimes, it's coming right back around for us to master this lifetime. I'm hearing that the key to all this is just surrendering and allowing it to flow out. Let it flow in, let it flow out. But yeah, I'm picking up on past life memories. But I'm also hearing past life memories of your future. So for some of you guys, you're having past life memories, but it's not necessarily just grounded in the past itself. It's grounded in, like, for some of you guys, you're having memories or flashbacks from before you came to planet Earth, before you signed this contract and made this agreement with the universe to be here at this very specific time, which I thank you and honor all beings who are here at this time doing the work. And those who aren't, I still honor and thank you as well. But I'm seeing that you're having memories from when you signed the contract, when you initially came to this planet and said, hey, this is the work that I want to be doing. This is the work. This is what I'm preparing myself to learn. You're going to get flashbacks of future timelines that you are entering into now in order to be fully grounded in this. So some of you guys are getting encouragement and reinforcement by knowing and sustaining your knowing in what the future is bringing and what you're working towards. Okay. So these memories are not to kick you back into some past energy and have you all up in your head. These memories are to say, remember what the fuck you agreed to. Remember what you signed up for, because right now is the time that you're creating the timeline of what you agreed to have, what you agreed to learn. And of course, you have free will. Everybody has free will. But that's beside the point. The point is, what are you going to do with your free will? Who are you going to be with your free will? Even if things around you change, even if storylines and situations and world events and world newses, all that shit, are you still going to be that person that loves to travel, loves to express themselves, loves to articulate their words, loves to share their energy? Are you going to continue to be that? Or are you going to let these shifts and these parallels also change you? But that's impossible. It can't change you. So you just have to make a decision to ultimately be you, is what I'm picking up on a lot. And this is going to come in a lot. Like, these words sound very simple, but when it's applied to the literal expression and literal manifestations of what's happening, you're going to be like, damn, all I got to do is stay me. And it could be a challenge because there's a lot of distractions. There's a lot of people that I was also hearing before. I was hearing that some people don't have the energy to give to you. Like, let's say you need a specific thing, you need advice on a specific thing, or you need energy towards a specific thing. Be aware of people just giving whatever they have. It's almost like somebody who will say, okay, let's say, for example, you are let's say your native language is English, and someone needs a French translation, like they need to translate a word from English to French. And maybe let's say you don't speak French. The energy is giving, like, there's people who don't speak a certain language, and you need a certain language to be out, like, in order to alchemize and add that into your ingredients of what you're creating. You need a certain language, you need a certain recipe, but these people don't have that recipe for you. And so what your challenge will be is to acknowledge that these people don't have not your best interest at heart, because I did feel somebody feeling like some people don't have their best interest at heart. It's not that. It's that they may have your interest at heart. Maybe it's not your best, but they may have a certain interest at heart. They may have certain energy towards you, but they are not able to translate that energy into the language that you need. So the challenge is understanding that you don't need to try to, like, be validated by other people in general, because if they're not able to give you what you're asking for or what you need innately, that's okay. They just didn't have it. That doesn't make them a bad person, and it doesn't mean that you need to, like, feel bad about yourself. That, you get me? Because I feel like it's a lot of energy around well, I want to do this with myself, or I want this kind of energy, but the energies around me don't understand what I want. They don't have the ability to understand what you want. They don't speak the same language as you. And even if you were to try to translate it, you're dumbing yourself down to try to translate what you want, rather than just saying, hey, let me go after what I want, and I'll be able to show you. I'll be the proof, right? So a lot of us, that's why I made my channel, is because it's not for me to, like, be like, try to be anything to anybody, but it's for me to be able to reflect on my journey, and also for me to be able to demonstrate through my own journey, my struggles, my things that get me up and down, through working through that energy, that I can also there may be a byproduct that someone else gets inspired by me showing and demonstrating what I'm dealing with. And it takes a brave person to do that. Okay. So for a lot of you guys, it's not about trying to acclimate to anyone's language or be understood by their terms or do what it is that they want you to do. It is simply understanding in that moment that this person doesn't have what I am specifically needing in this moment. They're not able to give that to me, or they may hold space for me, and that's awesome, but they're not able to lead me in the direction I need to go or translate or speak my language. So I need to release any level of wanting to hold on to validation, wanting to hold on to judgment of myself because this person wasn't able to understand my language or vice versa. And also release any energy of putting them in a certain spotlight that uh, it doesn't recognize them in their highest light, you know? What's up, Universal Soul Queen? I was just thinking about you. I was thinking about you earlier. Yes, I'm glad that you're claiming it. So that's the energy that I'm picking up on. A lot of past life ties, things of that nature, karmic energy for sure, sorting out karmic energy, reevaluating the contracts that we've made with self that are now being demonstrated externally in front of us, realizing that we can void these contracts that no longer serve us and make room for new contracts. And I'm also getting the message too to feel your body and know where your emotions are going and flowing. Sometimes you may have to pause and assess your energy, but do it as much as you need, because you need to understand where your attention, where your mental energy, where your thoughts, where your emotions are going. For some of you guys, I'm picking up that you're thinking of one thing and you're putting a lot of mental energy towards this one thing, but emotionally you're totally on a different page, or there's something else that you're emotionally like dealing with. So what this looks like to me is someone that is misplacing energy. So mentally, they're focused on what they have to do, what's going on in their life. They're focusing on how to get, systems in order and things flowing. But emotionally, they're still in an energy of a certain time frame, a certain situation, certain dynamics emotionally, right? And so that's why every time they put their energy into figuring out what they need to do, what's best for them, but yet they're spending their emotional time thinking about things that have already. So I'm hearing like catch up your emotional self to your current timeline. Allow yourself to be in the present moment emotionally, that you are in a new emotional space. You're creating new vibes, new energy. So that way you're not manifesting lingering energy in your life. All right. And a lot of us will feel that the false sense of security that we had is being shaken up. All the while, the universe is sending us investments of energy to keep us grounded in the reality that we're creating right now and that we're maintaining. The distractions and outside influences won't be enough to ignite these old storylines. So there is going to be a space where there may be outside influences, distractions, but it's not going to ignite you into fully falling back into these old ways of thinking and these old ways of existing. It is only going to kind of trigger you or push you into the energy of really fully understanding like who you are now. Like, yes, I understand that I'm triggered by all the things that happen, or I can understand that there's certain things that have happened in my life that have been able to trigger me. But who am I now? Because I'm not limited to victim consciousness. I'm not limited to, oh my God, this happened to me and I have to stay in this energy and dwell in it. And a lot of us are going to see that our false sense of security could have been organizations, people who were rallying for us with a purpose. But the passion, the energy, the emotions were rooted in old storylines that had to be uprooted. Okay, so there's an uprootment coming up in your life. So it's almost like a tree is falling over in your life right now. And it's bringing up all these deeply rooted things that were buried up. But you now understand that what you were growing before was rooted in some deep, dark shit. And dark is not bad. Dark is just things that you were not seeing, that you were just living through. Okay, so ancestral runes are going to come up. Ancestral generational energy is being put on the table right now for you to see, like, these are the things that you used to do. These are the things that maybe your mother's mother's mothers, the generations before you, whatever, used to do. And now you have to choose who you're going to be a catalyst to what happens after you. That's the energy that I'm picking up on. And so a false sense of security, things that you thought that you were deeply rooted and grounded in, are now being uprooted and exposed. So you're able to clearly see, what was I rooted and grounded in? And you're able to make these changes. These changes could feel a little tense. They can feel a little challenging. So for some of us, it can be a little painful, right? Because we have to look at what were we actually rooted in? What was our actual, for a lot of you guys, you're going to realize that your confidence was rooted in insecurities. So for some of you guys, excuse me, the confidence that you were able to bring forth to yourself was rooted in deep insecurities and deep wounds. So it was a false sense of confidence, a false sense of security, a false sense of safety, knowing that you're always safe in every moment, but what you chose to give value to was not as secure or safe as you thought. If you get what I'm saying, like the things that you gave value to, let's say you gave value to having a lot of money, right? That's not your sense of security. That does not keep you secure. Your connection to the Most High is what keeps you secure and keeps you in this constant flow of channeling of abundance through energetic advancements and investments. All right. So yeah, you may find yourself asking questions around what you identify with as how you are able to present and with how you're able to present that to the world naturally. So some of you guys are identifying in a certain way, but you're not sure how to present that to the world. If I identify as this strong woman, you know, I identify as this intellectual being, but how do I demonstrate that to my peers? How do I demonstrate that to my external world? Because just as the external world reflects to you what's inside of you, you also reflect what's inside of you to your external world. So you are able to give the energy out as well. Again, it's about giving and receiving. So you're going to receive certain external reflections that give you some hindsight, give you some reflection, but then you're also going to be a reflection through what you're choosing to give to the external world. What are you choosing to reflect outside in the external world here? So you're going to be asking yourself questions about that and how you naturally are able to just get in that flow and what it is that you want to demonstrate. What do you identify with? What do you want to demonstrate? And that's going to be a deep process for some of you guys because you're going to have to sort through what you don't identify with anymore, what is no longer resonating with you, and then go deeper into where you truly, truly feel resonation with. What do you truly resonate with? It can be a challenge. I'm also hearing mentally, it's going to be a mental battle with Mercury and Aquarius. That's a lot of thinking. So you're thinking about plans of the future. You're thinking about making certain agreements, making certain decisions, signing certain contracts, whatever. But that's a lot of thinking. So be aware not to fall into that energy of overthinking where you start overanalyzing your reality. Let it flow naturally. And then also the directions will change. And so the path of least resistance is the direction of personal growth and development. And that is guided to you to allow you to shape and guide your reality. So the path, so when I say directions are changing, maybe you were going in a certain direction. So for some of you guys, you may be feeling a little bit lost or questioning your purpose or your path. And that's because you were going in a certain direction, but just because this direction so a lot of you, so for some of you, and I feel like a lot of us really, we were going in a certain direction and we were charging forward, like we were running full speed ahead, only to realize that that was not truly aligned with our truest selves. This direction that we were going and charging and working so hard in was not fully aligned with our truest selves. And the purpose of going in this direction and charging this hard was for us to see. Some of you guys could have been hitting brick walls where it seems like you want to make an advancement, but you aren't able to go forward that way. And so it's kind of like the universe is putting up these protections. And that's why the universe is so intelligent. And we love being connected in this way because it brings up certain walls that are going to like point you in the right direction, but it's by you hitting a brick wall, right? It's by you like bumping your head going this way, bumping your head going this way. Okay, you're getting closer. Boom, now you can go right through, right? But you had to knock the wall a couple times. You had to knock your head up on the wall a couple times in order to feel your way through to what was open and available to you, because whatever it is that you are supposed to have is open and available to you. And the only blockages that really exist are the ones that you perceive to be blockages. If you perceive something to be hard, then it'll be hard, but it doesn't have to. It's based off your perception. All right. And then again, spirit is also telling you to tell you to see yourself from the top down instead of the bottom up. Instead of seeing yourself from where, oh, I want to be in this place, see that you already are in this place. And that all you have to do at this point is just shed the layers of you that are not authentic with where you want to go and what you want to be doing. All right. It was some really good energy that I was channeling, y'all. I was on a high. I did my meditation. I did my yoga, my exercise. I was like, woo, let me get back in my space. Let me get grounded. So also you're going to be recognizing your self-worth in regards to how you create spaces for yourself and for others. And what you feed is what you grow. So what that means is that you're going to start to really understand the spaces that you open up. And it's not to say that you have to limit anybody from saying what they truly need to say or feel, but like fielding and sifting through energy where you no longer have to open up space for things that don't serve you. You can create boundaries. It's like you're opening up a sovereign space. You're understanding what sovereign space truly is. When you open up a sovereign space, what does that mean? What is that? Rather than just regurgitating what you're hearing or what you think it is, what does opening up a sovereign space mean to you? What are the boundaries that you have in your space? Like, again, we're not ever going to try to limit someone from expressing themselves or talking about something or expressing what they need to express. But at what point for you do you like say, okay, I value my energy and my worth more than just allowing someone to put toxic energy in my space? If I'm valuing myself differently, I'm not going to allow people to put toxic energy in my sacred space. You wouldn't let, like, if you owned property and you had a well that supplied all of your water for whatever it is that you got going on, your housing, whatever, right? Let's say you have a garden or a farm and that supplies the water for your crops as well. What would you, right? You're going to create a space of, I'm going to be extra aware of what I'm allowing in certain spaces. I'm not going to allow somebody to come over and throw their toxic garbage in my well because that supplies the water that's going to nurture me and nurture my crops, right? So really being able to say, what am I allowing in my spaces? When I entertain certain conversations, when I answer the phone for certain people, when I rush to do something for someone else before myself, what am I allowing in my space when I do that? How is that going to feed my crops or destroy them? That's really important to understand going forward, because what you feed is what will grow as well. And then also understanding why you attempt to feed lower energy. What are those habits and appetites? What are you feeling when you're feeding lower energy? How are you feeling about yourself? What's being reflected in your own reality? What are you trying to avoid? And then what are those appetites? What do you feed into? So that you can understand your cycles and your rhythms. So that when you do find yourself looking at lower vibrational energy or being involved or participating in lower vibrational energy, that you understand, I'm doing this because there's a part of me that is avoiding this or is feeling that. And you can really figure out a plan of action to revert your energy. And then I'm also hearing for us to speak expansion, retention, and growth into yourself. And when a fearful thought comes up, instantly realize what is true and release the energy that doesn't support living in truth. Turn that pain into power because all the pain symbolizes is untapped power, anyways. And then being grounded in the changes, like I said, be grounded in the change. Be grounded in the fact that nothing stays the same. Everything is always going to change. You're not going to be doing the same thing that you were doing 2 years ago. You know, you are going to evolve in your change so let's say, for example, you have certain routines, even self-care routines. There's going to be things that change. Perhaps the products that you use is going to change. The rate at which you do your self-care is going to change. You're going to evolve in your routine. And to the point where you're going to realize that it's not about not doing the routine. It's just that your routine is going to transmute, transmit, and transcend, and it's going to transform. So there's going to be things that you no longer need to do because you've strengthened up enough of this part of yourself. So not saying that you don't have to keep maintenance on it, but you're not going to have to do it in the way that you did when you initially encountered the trauma, right? Or whatever it is that was causing some sort of level of challenge in your life. It's easy to mentally know who you are or you're striving to be, but also who are you? Who are you? Being an example of change is also being a catalyst for change. Again, like I said, I put myself on this platform to be an example of change in order to be a catalyst for change for those that are seeking that. And I'm also hearing for just closing out, what I'm also hearing for us during these transits and what these things are going to bring is value exchange. So you're going to start exchanging your values. So let's say, for example, what you believe about your reality, maybe you don't put a lot of value in that, but you believe what someone else thinks or perceives your reality to be Okay, so we're gonna start exchanging the value. So now it's no longer I'm putting my all my energy into what an external representation of me feels about what I'm doing, but rather that reflects to me that I need to work better at putting the value in what I care about my reality. If I think that I look good in something that I feel like I look good in, I'm not going to override that feeling with if somebody feels like I don't. Like, okay, and you could be the motherfucker that I feel like I don't. I feel like I do. Like, you know? And then lastly here, balancing out decisions that you make now with actions or other alternative ideas to keep your reality grounded in the current moment. So basically, in order to not repeat old storylines, just balancing out the decisions that you make now, the actions and alternative ideas. So the ability to say, I don't have to exist in just one realm of thinking, existing, or feeling. I can expand myself to all the ways that I need in that moment in order to excel me to where I need to go. All right. So those are the messages that I have for you guys. I know this was like a lot, but just take it in as much as you can. And each thing, each situation, each topic I was talking about has its own downloads and upgrades into that. I'm also hearing too, a lot of people in the spiritual community be talking about, I'm getting downloads, I'm getting downloads, I'm getting downloads. And I feel as though for some of them, if you're seeing like where I haven't been getting the downloads or, kind of like it's changing again. It's not from the bottom up, it's from the top down now. So you already had these downloads. And so for a lot of you guys, some of you guys are wondering, okay, where are these downloads that I'm getting? Why aren't they as consistent anymore? Why have they slowed down? And that's because you've gotten enough downloads. Now it's time to upload, meaning that you have the information in your computer system, in your files. And now it's time for you to upload it and bring it back out into your external environment. Okay, so some of you guys have techniques, methods, training, modules, self-healing concepts that you have downloaded within you. You've gotten that information, you've received it. And now it's time for you to upload it from within you into your external reality. All right. So that's kind of what I'm picking up on, y'all. I appreciate you guys so much for watching and holding space. Thank you so much. Sending love to each and every one of you. Thank you guys for subscribing, commenting, being in the live chat, showing love and support, booking, all of that. I love that. I appreciate that. And I send that right back to you tenfold. I just got another download. One more download, y'all. Or rather an upload. For some of you guys, you're wondering why people are not able to give you the energy that you are giving to them. And it goes back into that message that I did called Spiritual Love Money. I did it way back in, I think, 2020, but it's called Spiritual Love Money. And some people do not have. So for example, because they're creating this blockage of not having, right? But you're wondering why somebody can't give you what you're giving them. Man, I tried to give you a compliment and you snarled at me, or I tried to give you like reciprocity. Some people don't have that. So even when I just said I give you back the love and support that you give me times 10, it's because I knew I had more than times 10 to give back. Some people are not in the awareness that they know that they have more than enough to give back. Right? They're putting themselves in a scarcity mindset, which is depriving them of the more to give, which is why they are opposing giving it to you. So be aware of having exchanges with people who are not balanced with their give and receive within themselves, because that's going to certainly create an imbalance within your dynamic. All right. Okay, that's all I have to say, y'all. Thank you for watching. It's your girl, K, aka Kaylove1132. Tell me how you feeling. Also known as your celestial empress or empress, whatever you prefer. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more streams of consciousness. I love y'all. Talk to you later. Bye.